It's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom, because I don't know, I was recording, then I stopped recording, and then I just got sidetracked. But I'm cutting up a Bruce the Shark from the Dollar Tree to make a craft. And I was recording, I had some technical difficulties, and I got sidetracked, and then I just was having fun cutting stuff and playing around. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to retrieve the shark mouth. I just need the shark mouth. I don't need his face anymore, so I'm going to cut his face off. Let me get my other snippers. This is a miniature from the board game Hate. And some of these are really nice minis, but I just wanted to do something different with it instead of just use it how it was. Then I don't want this hair on the side here because it might get in the way of what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to snip that off. Okay? So I want to get my face on here the best I can. Something like that. To follow the natural form of his body a little bit. I need quite a bit of glue to make sure this sticks. And that there's some overlap and some extra. Okay? I want to angle this down some. Kind of fit it against his body there. Just like that. Now, having anything to fill this in and make this sturdy would be great. Let me get a little tin foil. That might be ideal. If I have any tin foil. What is going on here? Nope. Was this printed badly? Oh no. What is going on with this tin foil? Okay. Let's get about half of that. We're just going to make it into a malleable kind of piece that we can form around here and fill this in the best I can. I just want to fill in those gaps some. And we're not going to see the back part of it because it's going to be under a hood. So all I want to do is add some form there. Put that back on. Alright, now we need like a baby wipe or something to dry fit the hood. Let's get a piece of fabric, a piece of t-shirt or something. We'll cut the sleeve off a children's shirt that my kids grew out of. And we'll make the hood out of that. So to make my hood, all I'm doing is the front of it's going to be flat, like that. And then I've got to see kind of how long I want my hood to be, and then cut up at a curve, like that. And that's going to be the base for the hood. And how that's going to go on him is like this. That's way too long. Might not be too long. We'll see. All right. So we know we want that, and then we want to make like a vest piece that goes on the front, and to do that, we're just going to cut a rectangle like this. And it doesn't have to be even or straight or nice. Being a little jaggedy might be good. I'm going to dry fit that on there. like that, and it's way too long. I'm going to fold that back in half. I'm going to cut some of that off. Okay, I want that to sit kind of on there like that. And I'm just using the glue to get the natural shape of how I want it to stick against him. And you can kind of crinkle it up and make it a little more natural. You might burn yourself a little bit if you're dumb, or your name is Doom. Okay. Now there's some gaps I want to fill in. You're not really going to see them in the final craft, but I want it to be kind of covered up. And then I have my hood. And again, this is way too big, so I'm going to fold it back in half. Cut it shorter. And then I want this to kind of come out in the front a little bit, so I'm just going to do that. Okay. All right, that's going to work. So let's smooth this down, make it nice and flush. Pull back what we need to away from the face so it's not part of the craft too much. It's not going to be as noticeable. Then I'm going to get a thin line of glue here to become a non-visible, well, it'll be visible-ish, but I mean, so you can't see the tinfoil texture. Then I'm just going to kind of come up here on this plastic I have and just round that off a little bit. That right there is just terrifying. All right, we need to let it cool. I need to make sure I don't have any weird bumps or lips or folds. Okay. All right. Now I want him to be pretty scary. He had a peg leg kind of deal going already that was cool, and this shirt is not perfect. You can do some stuff to fix that up. Like you can catch the edges a little bit on fire and let that burn some. And that's going to give you some opportunities to have some jagged edges and stuff. But you don't want to do it all at once. You want to do it in like kind of spurts. Oops, there's hot glue on there. And when you get some of this kind of burnt like that and frayed, you just kind of pull some of those chunks away that you need to pull away to make it jaggedy and horrible. Leave some of it and yank some of it, that's all. We'll come back with super glue and certify that. Certify is a technical term. Okay, now let's get our hood on here. So let's dry fit the hood again. So to get the hood on, we're going to start with some glue here in the middle, just to get it in place where we want it to sit. Okay? Just like that. Then we're going to come down the side here. Kind of get that in place. Same thing on this side. Just come down here, get it in place. See how that's kind of moving around how I don't want it to. I'm just going to get some glue up inside there, just a little bit, and kind of use that to hold it how I want it to mash onto him. Then I want the back. I didn't make my back long enough. And you can just glue this as you need to and get it in the places you need it to go. Just drag it down. See, I have a little bit here that's exposed. I kind of want to cover that up. So to do that, I'm just going to get a thin piece of this that doesn't really even make sense to the craft. And it's going to be a weird texture that shouldn't be on the mini. I'm going to shove that down on there. Okay. Fold that up a little bit and wrinkle that and make it more textured. Drag that in. Get rid of that seam. You don't have to be an artist to do this, you know what I mean? You can just kind of make it work. Just force it. Okay. Just cover up any of the seams you don't like with a little bit of glue. Leave it. And he's going to be terrifying. All right. Let's get him on a base so that we can paint him after, or we have some gluing to do first. So we want to get super glue. There's some other things I want to cover up too, like, oh shit, you dick. Okay, we get that back on there, let it cool. There's some spots I need to cover up too, and I don't want to go way out of my way making it hard on myself. So to cover those up, I'm going to get pieces of fabric on this one. And I'm going to drape that over his arm hanging down. That's going to cover that side up. And then this side has something I don't like there. And I'm just going to add a piece of cardstock like an armor plate. And pretend it's all good. Okay. Then we need to saturate him in glue so that all the cloth hardens and we can paint it. So I'm going to start up here on the arm. And fortunately, glue kind of absorbs into fabric pretty good. You could do this with any kind of miniature, just add shit to it. There's no secret talent to it. You just kind of play around till you get it how you like. Using probably way too much glue on this project, if I'm going to be honest. Okay. Make sure you get it on the edges though. If you miss any of the inside, it'll be alright. If you miss edges, it will be real floppy and move around and shit. Okay, hold on, drop the paintbrush. So I'm going to use the back of a disposable brush to kind of move stuff a little bit. I'm going to fold this a little bit. Give it a more organic look. Oops, don't want to get it up on there. I'm going to see if this is even possible. Something like that. Just kind of get it how you want it to be. And he's going to be a sick looking dude, I think. His hammer's a little wonky. We're going to heat that up and try to get it into a good position where it holds it and it doesn't bow like that. Okay. We should do a repair on that hammer, but let's be honest, it looks okay how it is. So his base is boring though. Let's get some baking soda. Some super glue. We'll use that crappy brush. Push that around on there. Do the back. You don't want to use too much. You want to kind of do it, jag it out to the edges, but not all the way to the edges. Okay. Get some baking soda on there. And that's going to add a real fine dirt texture. And since he's a size large, we should probably put a couple stones or something on the base just to look cool. I have these Dollar Tree white stones that I was given by someone who thought I didn't know how to find rocks in the wild. And I think that would add a cool layer to this mini. And maybe a couple small stones too. Put tweezers somewhere. There they are. I just want to push this one back some, like that. Okay. To get those to stay, I'm just going to get a tiny drop of glue on each of those. Boop, boop. Use capillary action to make sure you get it down onto the base and everything's connected. You might have surface tension that doesn't allow it. That's why I say that. And that's the dude. Let me get that. It's going to have to get better. If we let it sit long enough to actually do it, it's going to take forever. So we're going to take the lazy man way out. Okay, so that's going to be the mini. I'm going to go ahead and base coat that and then we'll come back and paint it. There's some gross parts that don't make a lot of sense, like that thing there. I'm just going to get some glue and drag that glue around on that where I cut it off, just like that. Then I have this weird bump on his knee. I'm going to catch that on fire. I'm going to rub it with my glue gun and smooth it out a little bit. Get a little dab of glue and then just kind of rub that in. Try to cover it up some. And I think otherwise we are good to go on this dick. Alright. See you in a little bit for part 2 of my, I don't know what he is. Eater? my bad guy. See you soon. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave a comment, and all the happy crappy that helps to make the channel grow. And I will see you next time.